Good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of Sheroic Speaks, where Black women speak out loud and definitely unapologetically. I am your host, Dr. Linda H. Scruggs. Welcome to this episode. Tonight, we're going to be talking about sister circles and healing beyond our bloodlines. We're so excited. I'm going to be bringing on with me in a couple of minutes my good sister, queen, love, friend, Vanessa Johnson, the co-executive director with me at Ribbon. And we're going to be talking about healing circles. We're going to talk about sisterhood, and we're going to be inviting you to join this journey and this conversation. I just want to acknowledge I'm in a place, I'm actually, ladies, I'm in a hospital. I am not the patient. I'm with a loved one who's in the hospital, and we have been going through a very traumatic week, and I needed a break. I needed some sisterhood. So I didn't cancel the show because a couple things happen. When things happen in life, as y'all know, life happens, right? You can do one or two things. You can freeze, you can just move on. I often choose to just move on. Not that I'm in denial, not that I'm not acknowledging what's happening around me. That's therapeutic for me. Everybody responds to life and life experiences differently, but I invite tonight. We're gonna have a great conversation. I'm excited. I'm going to tell you just a little bit before I bring Vanessa on. I'm excited, y'all, to have Vanessa Johnson with me tonight. I'm really excited. She's the first live guest that we've had with us. We're in two different places. She's also working remotely this week, so we're not in the DC in the office, but we wanted to come together, and I wanted to talk to you about sister circles. And I felt who better to talk to it with than the person that, God, the universe, had created something that neither one of us knew about. So just stay with me. I'm going to bring Vanessa on. We're going to start this conversation. I'm going to invite you to drop information in the chat throughout the night as you're with us. Look forward to talking with you. So let's find out where Vanessa is. Let's see if we can get her out the green room. All right. Hey, Vanessa. It's good to see you, Vanessa. We can't hear you. Are you muted, maybe? All right. She may be having some technical difficulties. We're going to see. I'm going to just tell you a little bit while she's working out with the producers a little bit why I started tonight when we talked about sister circles. I want to talk to you how about me and Vanessa. And I love that she really can't talk right now, so I can tell you all the truth, right? I met Vanessa. Vanessa would say I was her first trainer. So in 2000, in my previous day job at the A's Alliance, we held the national training, the Consumer Leadership Core training. And Vanessa came to the training from upstate Albany. And folks who know Vanessa know she's like brilliant. Like she was ahead of the class. She was
Oh,
trying. I'm talking. Here she go. I'm telling them about how we met leadership program, Vanessa. And Vanessa always says I'm her first trainer. And our sisterhood didn't begin then in 2000. And she came to DC after a few years, and we knew each other. We saw each other. We worked through associations together, and we had even trained. But we found ourselves where many people find themselves. We found ourselves almost, and I'm going to call it this. I don't know if Vanessa calls it this. I kind of found myself on an island by myself, or maybe one of them boogie boards by myself. And Vanessa was over there on another island. And I had just left my job, and I was like, what do you do? And I didn't know anybody that had been on this island by themselves. And I thought of Vanessa, and I called Vanessa. And I said, well, what you doing? You ain't got a job. You don't want to do. And you're hurt and you're broken because folks didn't take care of you properly. I didn't get fired. The organization went down. And that's because folks didn't take care of us, right? Didn't take care of the work. And me and Vanessa, I don't think we planned to start a sisterhood. We didn't. We planned that. just had some chit chat, and I think I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna have her say something. I think we
Mhm.
planned, and I think the universe. I know the universe already knew. Um, Vanessa is a genius, and I'm fabulous, right? So genius and fabulous together, you got ribbon. It literally over a meal, us about trauma, us talking about needing to work. We needed some jobs, we needed some revenue, but I think we was able to pull out two Allens together, right? We was able to come together. Really, we were unified and hurt. Men who had ran organizations, women who were part of these spaces, they didn't take care of us. And we didn't want to go, we didn't trust, we wasn't trusting other people, we wasn't trusting some of the other orgs that we possibly could have went. And but for some reason, as strangers, no associates, but strangers, we chose to trust each other. And we started ribbon. And I remember we had a little retreat, right? At about 40 miles from DC. And we agreed we was gonna get this 2 years. We were gonna give it 24 months. In the 24 months, we had to do some healing, and then we'll decide if we want to stay together. So, Vanessa, I'm gonna bring you in now, V. You ready?
Yes. Thank you, Linda. Love
Yeah.
those remarks. Love them. I think and I had it raises so many emotions listening to you talk about me and talk about our relationship. And I think I'm going to keep it short by saying it just came to me that there are levels of growth that we all go through our life. It's like the tree rings the tree and it turned how old. And I think for me, you represented one of the last rings of emotional growth for me.
Hmm,
Yeah,
come on.
because I did not want to have nothing to do with nobody. To be honest, after the National Association, people with AIDS closed down, I was just mad. And but the one thing I am is fearless. And if you was willing to go, then I was willing to go. Sometimes
Yeah.
I can be a little reckless, and so you kind of pull me back, and I appreciate that. Uh, but that's where my greatest creativity come in. But I would say that you have been very instrumental in helping me mature emotionally, and that has helped
Wow.
not just in our relationship, but in my relationship with my birth sisters, my relationship with the sisters in the community, and more importantly, the sisters I work at Ribbon, because that's been a
Wow.
struggle. We already know that there.
Because folks may not. We started ribbon for what 8 years. It was just me and Vanessa, and
And I
I
was real
came.
comfortable with that.
And I came in with a great idea, like not just be a let's change the world, right? Let's change the world and become a nonprofit. And Vanessa, like she said, she will fight. She fought too. And it's not that I won. And I love that. That's part of our sistership. It's not that I won. She went away and I went away. And we didn't go away mad.
No.
Um, way in the way that and we learned each other. She came back and said, "Okay, well, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing this." And I said, "Okay," because I already knew any of those things, right?
I did not
Because
want to be responsible. That's part of the emotional maturity, that element of it too. I'm starting to come around. I'm starting, but I'll be
so
retiring
that
soon. It might be too late.
no, it's not too late, and that's just it's never too late. And many folks, Ribbon has been an anchor. Vanessa said how pivotal I was in her life. She was pivotal in my life as well. And I think I love this piece because you do have women who are always just social butterflies and they're everywhere and they do these things. I think one of the great things about us, Vanessa, um, before I go into a little bit more around sister circles, um, me and Vanessa need each other. Like I wasn't needing her and she wasn't needing. we both was okay coasting the island by ourselves. But I think what it did was it gave us, I mean, I remember us, now we would be in each other because Vanessa wanted to work from home. I wanted an office space. And when we did get the office space, we would be sitting in our one office. We had all these offices. We sit in one space and we were working. And I think we were growing in because I never had a lot of, I got four women. I used to have six. I've lost a couple of them. And I
Mm,
ain't added other
mm,
than last 50. Uh, That's not what I need. That's not how I work. And I think that was some of the secret sauce that we didn't need to be under each other. We didn't have a competitive space. We um we both saw the strengths and the love, and we was able to respect our differences. And I think often women look at each other in competitive spaces. I've seen that. I know that. And I really love that we didn't have to do that. Like I think that's how I fell in love with Vanessa. Cause I wasn't she didn't come in the office looking like me and I ain't come in the office looking like her. And we fuss about how we both come in the office.
mm. And I'd be
You
like,
know,
yeah, I heard you.
because we are different and different is okay. I want to a bit though, Vanessa. I want to talk
Mhm.
about sister circles. Vanessa's working on this piece that she's geniusing up, and I pulled out parts of it when I read what she sent to me, and I said, "Wow, we need to talk about some of that." So I'm not going to talk about Vanessa project. Y'all gonna hear about that soon, but I think some elements of it I wanted to talk about. I think as we talked about being on these two islands, Vanessa, when we talk about sister circles, often we find women who are in social isolation. And particularly as we look at chronic disease, social economic spaces, literacy space, there are a lot of things that can get you to a place of social isolation. And one of them also is just simple trauma. You get sick and tired of being the rug or being the mop. So I want to talk about why do we need social? Why do we need social circles, Vanessa? Why are they good for us?
For Black women in particular, sister circles I think of as community. So it's a place where we can go and love on one another, get wisdom, laugh, cry together, and deal with whatever lived experiences we may have had. I mean, every step of the way that I guess talked about the tree and the different circles, starting out uh, in my earlier years, I was completely isolated because that's what one of the parents in my family chose to do was isolate us from the world. So I never really got a sense of myself because when you get a sense of yourself when you're in communion with other people. And
Mm.
if you're not in communion with other people, you kind of know who you are, but then you don't. You want to know if you're part of the norm or you're going to be accepted. And so, in a way, I think it took me a long time to develop relationships with women because I was a tomboy. I want to be with the guys. That's where the power was because in my house, that's where the power was with the males. So I was like, well, I
Mm.
want to be with one of them. I want to be one of them. I'm not going to be no girl because girls get beat up on. I wasn't tough like you, Linda. I just wanted to enjoy life and run around the block a couple times. So yeah, I think how you are brought into this thing called relationships, it doesn't have to be the final determination. If you're
I want to
dealing
stop you for a second. I need to stop
yeah.
you for a second. I don't know why you call me rough and tough. I think that
I don't
I
know.
think
I just know from our lives as girls was a little bit different. I
it
was a
was.
runner and you would stand your ground.
Yeah, I
But
would fight.
my sister is like you. She would stand her ground. She'd be like, okay, come on, bring it.
I don't know if that meant I was tough. That meant that I didn't feel like running because I wasn't allowed to run. Right. So
Mm.
I had this kind of mama. I talk about Miss Mamie all the time. If I ran, when I ran, if my mother found I ran, I have had my mother walk me to somebody's house, knock on their door, and beat them up while she's standing there with a belt. Cause who's gonna win, her or the person who I'm running from? So I learned
True.
that in right. So I think that to fight, I was taught to stay in your ground. It's like, well, even if you lose this fight, tomorrow you meet them around the other side of the building. You wasn't allowed to lose, right? So I think
Mhm.
it not necessarily always a healthy fight, but it created fight.
I hear you. I hear you, and I think that part of the growth of young young girls, teens, and young adults is had to know when and where
Mm.
to when to run and when to stand your ground. And I just didn't have a good balance. That's what I was truly trying to say. I just
I
didn't have
hear
a
it.
good balance. And so
Let me.
it was hard for me to be a part because the girls would be looking at me like, "Oh, you's a chicken." So there was no sister circle in elementary school and in middle school. I started in high school because I knew I was smart. So I figured out how to be in a circle,
Mm, mm.
but it was superficial.
So you could be in a circle and it not be real.
Oh yeah, I could tell the difference now. I
Oh
could tell the
wow.
difference now. It was more it was more manipulative. I wanted you to accept me. So I did whatever I had to do to be a part of this circle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was not
Okay.
always healthy.
So let me ask you a question. So we know that, at least not say we know. I find that as I age, that I see more women in looking for circles or looking for places. Where when I was younger, I always on the outside of circles, but I see now it feels like I see more women, older women, particularly Black women, are looking for circles. Why might that be, V? What's happening?
Probably the greatest lesson that I learned from members of the LGBT community is that your family does not have to be your birth family. It could be an extended family of your friends, and sometimes you can just choose your own family. And that was like a breathtaking moment for me because I love my sisters, my two sisters, Olivette and Truska. They are beautiful women, but when you raised in a house full of trauma, even though my mother did her best to protect us, when you we had a lot of empathy. Out of that came a crucible that filled us with empathy for one another, but
Mm, mm,
inhibited our ability to be close. And I think a lot of women are struggling with that because even though trauma is an issue everyone knows we need to talk about, it's very difficult to talk about. And I understand it when women say, I don't want to go back there. That's too painful. I don't want to look at that. So that keeps a separation, which is why you'll find when we do have these powerful circles because it's an affinity, like women living with HIV or women in recovery or women doing community work. So there's a reason to be in it, not just because. And that I find a lot of women build their circles that way. And so what is
mm.
happening today, I'm gonna honestly say it. I think that social media, even though we say we're close to social media, I don't know how you can be close with a 30-second interaction.
Mm, mm.
You got to
I-
be in each other's presence. And there's not a lot
Wow.
of spaces for that.
So where that's interesting because a lot of folks do connect,
Mhm.
yeah, and they feel that they have lifetime relationships.
Interesting. And maybe it's just
Interesting.
me. I would never do. I wouldn't consider that. So
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm,
unless I'm already know you, and it's an
mm,
extension of our relationship.
mhm,
I have never started. And so when you say how, I think we as women, particularly Black women, we need to be in each other's presence. The world is hard. It's rough. And we
okay.
need to be in each other's presence so that we can affirm one another. We can love on each other. we could do those things that we may not be getting at home.
So I know, so, and I ain't gonna put everything on COVID, y'all. I know that during COVID, I think data around Black women across the age span, how COVID for many became a escalate, social media became an escalation of their access to social media. And particularly our younger people, our younger, those young ladies under 40. I know I'm getting old when I'm calling 40 young, right? So I hear you, but I also see so many women who have found refuge in their sisterhood look different. So where I hear and oh, I want to see you, I want to touch you, I want to that may be different, even when we talk about different generations of Black women.
And that
So
might
in
be
our yeah. I just want to acknowledge because I do think I've met some people who have connected via social media and have different types of relationships. So I think women definitely need to assess what do you need, what works for you. I would love for folks who are out there in the chat to tell us, how do sisterhood feel for you
that's
in
a
so,
good question. That's a
you
great
know,
question.
because I know a lot of social stuff is happening, but I know even at Ribbon, whenever we do something in person, women show up like panting. I be around the women, and that's of all I know.
I'm
Now,
sorry.
and they make noises, so it's okay. I get to talk to you. I saw Terry. I see some.
I'm on a podcast.
Uh, yes. So see what happened, y'all. This
Life happened. Thank you very
is
much, you all. I appreciate your patience. And I love
this.
the conversation.
Yeah, this is live. I want to ask you one more thing about particular. I want to talk about women that we, as a nonprofit, we work with a lot of women who have different levels of social economical impact or not don't have much. There's been a lot of changes in our government, and some of those changes have interrupted or disrupted spaces where Black women have been able to benefit or show up from. How might we respond? I'm gonna ask you for advice. Vanessa's an advocate, y'all. So Black women who are finding that their circles are being impacted because of what's happening in political and government spaces. Like, what could we say? What could we be doing with that?
Yeah, I am an advocate, and I want to go back to our original point that I'm gonna move forward. I'm not on social media because I suffer from anxiety, and it's cyclical. So seeing all that stuff just makes me bonkers. But that said, I think as an advocate, what we've been asking for is community spaces. So if I think about it in terms of the HIV community, but all communities, is being meaningfully involved in everything that we do. And sometimes that is not forthcoming. Sometimes we have, for the past 40 years of this epidemic, have said to government, have said to funders that community spaces are needed. I can remember, I know from my experiences in Albany, going to the Albany Damien Center, because that I had to take a risk. I the first group I went to was Black women living with HIV who had children through Catholic Charities. That was a new
Mm.
thing for me. I was like, I don't know. And I was being judgmental. I was like, oh, this person's really got some issues. Like I didn't have any myself. Okay. So, but those places helped me grow. And so it's amazing to me as the more we have medicalized HIV, the more we have taken community out of it. And we are fighting for dear life. I don't know if the World AIDS Day messages say it. These people living with HIV talk is statement on the importance of community, especially to our as people. I know survival is because I'm willing to humble myself and be part of a community of people, even when it felt raw, even when it felt dangerous, even when it was scary, even when I was fearful or nervous. I still stuck in there with it because I knew I needed people. If I had stayed to
Mm,
myself and isolated myself, I would have never, my recovery would not have been successful. It just wouldn't have been because at the early part of my diagnosis, I had to go into for treatment for,
mm-hmm,
drug and alcohol use. And I
mm-hmm.
think that that on top of the support groups for women living with HIV taught me the importance of being connected. I wasn't
Mm,
yet I wasn't thinking about belonging. I was thinking about staying connected because for me as a person who is stuck sometimes emotionally, and some of the women know this at Ribbon, I'd be like, "Oh no, I don't want to be your friend. I'll be your associate. I'll be your, we could hang out every now and then, but no, you trying to get too close." I need my space. No, no, no. But I'm learning that's me. That's not the women in the community. That's not the women at Ribbon. That means I need to work on some stuff. And I want to bring this home to folks as you go on this journey. You have to be, and you all know this already. You have to be a sister to yourself.
mm,
Because how will you be a sister to somebody else?
mm.
And I'm still learning how to do that. I'm still learning how to love me. The more I love me, the more accessible I am to other people.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. So I heard you say, and we hear people say it all the time. You got to love yourself first. You got to be true to yourself first. So, in your wisdom, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you to pivot with me for a second, because I do
Yes.
know you have other love sisters in your circle, right? I'm gonna call their names out. I don't even know we got no rules, right?
No, no, we're
Um,
good.
yeah, I just, I know you have some other sisters outside your bloodline and me. So
Hmm.
how do you navigate that journey? And they're different because I know my relationship is different from. I'm gonna say, hey, Vanita, I don't know you out there. I'll use Vanita
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
how do you navigate these different spaces? Because people always say you got to be the same wherever you are. Is that true?
Mm-mm.
Are
No.
you that you are
Mm-mm.
to?
So my relationships with my birth sisters are far different than my relationship with community sisters. Uh, because of the crucible I talked about earlier, it's taken us a good while to get to where we are, and we're in a good space. And I say we're in a good space because it doesn't mean that stuff hasn't happened in the family since then. It has, but we have reacted differently. We stay together as much as we can, and we say each of us speak our own truth, whether we like it or not, and whether
Mm,
we agree with it or not. I'm still a little bit hesitant in the community to be that blunt and honest.
mm,
So, and sometimes people don't like it. They'd be like, "You just a little too direct," because I am. I really don't have time to play. You either with me or you're not. This is how I see it. And so, but that's the life and the rings and getting to that level of maturity where I don't I've learned I don't have to fix it.
mm,
If part of being a part of the circle is that listen, just to be there for somebody, that was always hard because I felt like, oh, I do something about this. No, I don't have to do anything about it. I just need to listen.
mm.
And a lot of women out there want somebody to listen.
Wow, wow. So they want somebody. Listen, I'm gonna take a break for a minute, Vanessa, because I want to come
Okay.
back to. Um, I'm gonna take us a break, ladies. When I come back, I want us to talk a little bit because Vanessa's going into that listening. So when I talked earlier, me and Vanessa were respected associates when we started Ribbon. And I love telling folks she one of my BFFs now, right? I got three. She one of, you know. But I want to come back and talk about that associates for a minute. I'm gonna go to a quick commercial. I think I'm gonna show a quick video of one of our other sisters. And then we're gonna be back. We're getting ready for the raffle. If you out there, you remember get ready to drop your name. Don't do it yet. But drop your name in a few minutes when I take right back in just a minute. I'm gonna drink
Okay.
some of this.
Can we talk? Or we should talk?
Yeah, we can talk.
Oh, so are we okay? How are we doing? Okay.
I'm gonna go
Now,
right
if I
in.
get
Yeah,
cut
is
off,
that okay? So tell me, Joanne, go back with me in the early years. I'm gonna age both of us in this conversation. In 1983, I was graduating high school. What was it like? And I remember the headlines, the stories. What was it like receiving a diagnosis back there?
That's exactly what it was like. First of all, it was all over the TV. It was all over the media everywhere. And then when I went to get the test done, and they said that I was HIV positive, I remember like the bottom falling out of my life because everybody said that you were going to die when you had HIV, and here it was, me with the diagnosis. First thing popped up in my mind is that, oh Lord, I'm gonna die.
And it's so funny because we keep saying HIV diagnosis because in 1983 it didn't even have a name. So you're diagnosed with something that don't even have a name. And as you said, it was in the news, it was everywhere. Tell me, had you already began your transition as a transgender woman at this time?
I think I was transgender before I even could put a name to it. I'm serious.
I love it.
Because it was things that I was doing, how I was acting, that was contrary to the regular society of men and women.
Okay.
So
yeah,
Thank you. That's Joanne. I just to honor you guys to see that whole video a little later. Not today, but we'll be sharing it soon. Um, sisterhood, as you hear that piece here talk about sisterhood, and I love it because I love in that piece Joanne talks about she like us in a way. I didn't realize that till I just said it earlier. Joanne talks about being on an island. She don't use that word, but it's that island place, that how she spent time by herself, but then she found community. I
mhm.
want to talk for a second, Vanessa. I know, oh my goodness, this time always go by so fast, right? But I do 2 minutes, excuse me, just a few minutes talking about how might we start a sister circle. So say you're by yourself, right?
Yeah.
How do you approach I don't want to be by myself? Is that something, man? I don't know if you've ever had that space where you looked and you were by yourself and you like, oh, I don't want to be by myself. I want to talk about that. And I want to also talk about if you did, what did you do?
That's an excellent question, and that's why I'm talking about emotional maturity because I was unable to reach out to other people in a truly meaningful and deep way. It was superficial. So yeah, I had my friends that ran in the street. I had other friends, that were just doing work. I had school, but when woman closed that door is when I knew it
Mm.
wasn't until I graduated from law school and got the diagnosis of HIV in 1990. And my mother and them supported me in recovery, and I had to completely surrender. And I said, I need to think about my life and doing this thing a little differently. And that's when I said I'm very fearless anyway. That's when I realized I probably need to be around other people and learn how
So
to
he
develop relationships.
So healing happens in community. That's on the ticker. So you're by yourself, you're in that apartment, and you probably was okay, but there still was some missing pieces.
No, I wasn't okay.
You wasn't.
I felt unloved,
Mm,
even though I knew I was loved by my family. Friends that I had, a few friends like Arthur Butler, who's near and dear to my heart, because I don't want us to think that the sister circles are important, but there's other overlapping circles that you got to have because you live in the world. But you talked about how I was able to break the ice is just say hello. Who are you?
mm,
Where are you from? I think that's how you start your circle. There might be people that you are admiring or that you think that you could be friends with.
mm.
Start with that one person. And then you ask each of you, because then now you've approached that person. You say if there's a person you develop that relationship between the two of you first, and then you bring in another two people. Grow the circle. Water the
So,
plant.
so I'm gonna ask you a question. Just
Yeah.
you walked in there, 'cause I was
Yeah.
by myself. I was by myself. I was uncomfortable. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, right? And I've been
Yeah.
in that same apartment with you. I've been in that space by myself and
Yeah.
uncomfortable, not with me, but uncomfortable with this one. Something went right. So, and I didn't know this is my poison, right? Everybody got.
Mhm.
I've been mishandled because I love people deeply. I love deeply.
Mhm.
So, when you're choosing sister circles, how do you build? How do you get past? How might that trusting? Like, because again, at our age, whether you 15 or you 65, likely you've experienced something. So how do you build trust? How do you go from the
Uh,
harm?
I had to give grace. I had to give grace. It was a hard process though. It's not easy. I had to give grace to the person and not hold that container of them in me and think that somehow I did something for them to either be angry at that moment or just out of sorts. I just really had to let people be themselves. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
expecting people to let me be me, I have to give that same grace, but it wasn't always like that, which is why I was trapped in my house because I wanted people to act a certain way. We gonna do this together, this way.
Did
And I
y'all hear that?
had other ideas.
Did y'all gangster show up? Did y'all see that move? That was a gangster move. Like, this is what it is. If you ain't all right with it, get out the house.
Well, that's the truth.
I,
So you
but I,
ain't gonna keep no friends. You're not gonna keep friends. You're not gonna even keep acquaintances. They're gonna be like, "Oh, that child's out. She's something wrong with her."
so I had
So,
to
and
learn.
can I just add something, another layer to being in that
Uh-huh.
house by myself? So, because an empty space needs to be filled.
Right.
So I filled it with a lot of stuff that was harmful to myself, whether it was food, sex, buying.
Oh, we lost Vanessa. See, she said sex and something happened. She might be back with us. But let me tell you this, ladies. I get to talk about it when she's offline with me. I love it. She having technical difficulties. I was talking about trust. And I know some of you, I would love for you to pop in the chat. Tell us, how do you rebuild trust in sisterhood? Hey, here she come back. I was talking about you. We're talking about this
Yeah.
trust. You have your thought
Well,
with you still.
so I have a new, and I realize that friendships can form at any point in your life. So you and I have a really close relationship starting in 2001. And when I say that you profoundly impacted me as instructor is because you let me be me, even though I irritated you at times, but you still let me be me. So, and that was really important to me. But at the same time, he's really powerful. And so there has to be some equilibrium. I had to grow up to be in your space. Intellectually, yeah, I knew I had it, but to be in a true sister circle relationship, you have to, like I said, you have to be all somewhat all right with yourself.
Right. And one of the things I heard, and you let me, we keep leading each other. Me and Vanessa starting to talk about, guys. We dressed alike today. We got our Sheroic shirt on. V, stand up and show your shirt. Can you stand up? Yeah, we got our Sheroic shirts on today. But I think, Vanessa, what I heard you say is that we've learned to value differences. So really, to have circles, you have to value your sisters different. You have to have room for yourself, but you have to have room for someone. You have to create a space. It's like, when you maybe when I was dating, when I used to before I got married, my sons used to want to sleep on the bed with me. And I said no, because one day your daddy gonna be sleeping there. I always had the empty part of my closet was empty. I always had an empty drawer because I would learn in therapy early on. Yeah, I still do therapy, y'all. But I learned in therapy, if you
Me
wanted
too.
to, I wanted companionship, and they told me to start making room for it. And that he made me make room inside of me, but also in the space that I was living. Not that I knew that we were living where I was living, but I had space. So I hear you saying, even in sister circles, you can't come on the circle. If the circle is all about you, you're really not in a circle. You just in
No,
a box and standing there and looking into the
no, you in a
box.
gang, and you the
Ooh, so you a peg, a pawn. If you not leading, you just pawn.
yeah.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Let me ask you, because
I mean, to be close, to be intimate, because that's what we're talking about when we say sister circles. If we're really talking about belonging, right? Intimacy, into me you must see. And so I learned a lot from the women.
into me you must see.
Yeah.
Into me you must see. Okay, I got that. I like that.
And I got a lot of that from the women that were part of Common Threads. There's so many of them, I can't mention them all, but I had to trust. There was one particular woman I had to trust, and that was Pat Kelly, who would not leave me alone. This woman, she was like, "You gonna be my friend no matter what." And it took years. I finally submitted. I was like, "Okay, Pat, all right, whatever you say."
And I
I'm
love
from
the
the
relate.
South Carolina. Okay. But, and even then, sometimes relationships get broken, but I think it's momentarily. I always tell people, when you're ready, come back. Because I want you to do that for me if I have to go away. I want to be, I want that. I want that
I
grace
love.
too.
I love it. I love it. They like the you getting comments about this intimacy piece. I love it. You're right, because it's like, I get to be naked before you,
Yeah.
right? And folks, me and Vanessa co-executive directors. It's always just some good country gravy going on.
Sometimes
And
it's a burnt toast.
it's but I think what's wonderful is I love it is that intimate piece, right? Because even when I'm naked, you won't look at the flaw. You don't call out the flaw. You don't call out the flaw. And often I've learned that we will see each other. I see you ain't where I am, and we be like, okay. I put Vanessa out of my office for the first time this year. We've been in business 14 years, I think, and for the first, I said, Vanessa, get out the office, right?
Yes.
Because if she didn't go nowhere,
No, for not for the first moment. Then you said it again. I was like, "Oh, okay," but I wasn't mad or angry about it.
and
I
then
was
I,
like,
I
she
went to
needs
her
her
office,
space.
and then if you,
Right,
I came over in your office because
right.
intimate. I love that piece. Ladies, I'm gonna ask y'all, do me a favor. This is a heroic moment. We're having this heroic space together. I love this woman. Um, we're gonna do the raffle. I'm gonna ask you to start dropping your names in the chat, so that we can catch them. Please drop your name so we can see who's in the chat, who's out there. And we have a heroic package we're gonna get out to you. We've had a couple of winners over the last couple of shows. They already got their good gift packs. I don't know. We should be telling people to show their gift packs on social media.
Oh, that would be
Um,
nice.
yeah, y'all need to be highlighting what you're doing. We hope you
Oh,
share this. Oh, go ahead, B. What
can
you
I
got?
just one more comment? Because I
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
you earlier about social media. The reason why I said about being close is because when we go to these conferences, Linda, you know that most of the time when people see us in person or we see other in person, people say, "I'm so glad to see you."
See,
And so,
Vanessa, you in my next space. See, she get on. See,
okay, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
jumping, jumping. All right, Amy, I see folks dropping their names. Hey, ladies, keep dropping your names.
Hi. Oh, look at Lisa.
As you dropping your names, I also want to
Oh,
ask you
Latoya. Yay. I'm sorry.
what
I end up calling them
what
all
do,
out.
I know it. Does. I want to ask you, where do you need sisterhood, and where does sisterhood feel good? Like Vanessa said, often we go to conferences and places, and we see sisters like, oh my God, I saw you on social media, but now I'm meeting you for the first time. I was at a conference last month, and this
Mm.
person came up to me, and she was like, "Oh my God, I've been watching you. I'm seeing you." She's like, "And you're here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." Like, first of all, I live right here in Maryland. So what, where do you need sisterhood? Um, what does it look like? Drop a couple of those thoughts into the chat. Vanessa, I'm gonna have a closing thought with you in just a second. But I know from the sisters, as you're dropping your names in the chat and everything, tell me why do you need sisterhood? Where do you need sisterhood? And give me one word, possibly.
Mm.
Uh, what if you have a sisterhood, what does it feel like? Because I've learned as I've aged, Vanessa,
Mhm.
sisterhood wanted. I never knew I needed it. And I
Mm.
actually,
Understood.
I always, so in my life, I was like, and I was the black sheep. I was the black polka dot with green striped sheep, right? And I know, oh, I love it. She said comfort.
Yes.
And I was the kid that was told, Linda gonna work it out. She gonna be all right. She gonna work it out. And so because of that mentality, I lived alone a lot by myself mentally because
Mm.
I didn't need to, I didn't know how to depend on nobody. I just need to make it happen. Right. And it was late in my life where I realized that not only did I need it, I am enjoying sisterhood. Where I tell you, I have these two BFFs, these three BFFs. I really, I have a lot of sisters in this community, Black women across this country and around the world now. And I enjoy it. I enjoy
Yeah,
it.
that just stresses the heck out of me. I don't know.
I do.
I need
And
to have a I can't go beyond these 10 fingers, okay?
and I love it. I love it because I don't identify them as my friends or my best
Yeah.
friends. Those their sister. When I see them, I ain't no big hugger, but I'll see them and I will hug them. They'll get one. They ain't getting two, right? But I
I get
love that I'm out of town right now, and I'm like, okay, if I call somebody, it's gonna open up a floodgate. But I love being somewhere and I can call somebody. Like,
wow.
and I don't. I knew I needed that. I needed to be part of community. So yeah, there's healing happens in communities. I see. We're coming to an end. I know we're
Can I
coming
make
to an
one
end.
more last comment?
I
So
ask you to
with
make
all
it
that said, you gotta be accountable. If you mess
okay.
up, say you messed up. If you
Oh
didn't do
wow,
something you were supposed to do, say it. Ask for grace and forgiveness. That has eased my way in
I love it.
developing relationships with folks.
I love it. I was gonna ask you for that thought, and you see, she's look. I told y'all why are you, and we ain't got no scripts, y'all. So
No, we
she's not.
don't.
And I was gonna ask that, but I love it. Give your sisters grace. And one of the things you said also, Vanessa, if somebody got to go away, stay available.
Yeah.
That's how you know you sisterhood. because it's not, this ain't no pharaoh. Strike their name, take it off every pallet, every tablet. You know, right? We are we are human. So making so yourselves continue to be available. I love that, Vanessa. That's incredibly loving of you. I am so excited that you've been with me too. I'm gonna announce we have a winner of our raffle. They're giving me all this information right now as we're getting ready to close out. Everybody, we appreciate y'all. We thank you. I'm gonna stop the raffle because they've already drawn it. If you put your name in that last couple of seconds, I'm sorry. But our winner tonight is Miss T Green, is our raffle winner.
Ooh,
Hey, Miss Green.
all right.
Hey, T, do us a favor. Please send an email to Sheroic at ribbon number 3.org. Some folks have been emailing me. Y'all are in trouble. Please send your email to Sheroic at ribbon number 3.org so we can speedily get the team to get you a wonderful gift pack out. We thank you for being a winner, ladies. Remember, you can win every 3 months. So if you haven't won yet, it's not too late. Again, ladies, you know it. I am Dr. Linda H. Scruggs. I'm your host of Sheroic. I am so excited to announce to you. You may have heard of it. It's coming soon. We're going to have a speak-a-thon. Sheroic is hosting the She Speak Her-a-thon.
Yeah.
February is happening on February 5th. Please save and mark your calendar. We're going to be on for 12 hours having black woman bliss, having black woman's knowledge, information. We invite you to email Sheroic at ribbon 3. If you know black women that we all should be talking to, you will not be talking to me for 12 hours. We're going to be inviting podcast hosts.
Yeah.
If you know some clinicians, we're gonna all the topics are on the table. So we're gonna have a 12-hour from 8 a.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. And you can join us for the whole day. We'll have raffles throughout the day, gift raffles, gift cards, some Sheroic swag, some ribbon swag. So please, we're looking forward. You'll see the announcements showing up in the next week. Please mark your calendar and then don't get in trouble. Set the calendar a couple times throughout the day. You can be with us. We will have our calendar of events and our agenda for the day go up so you'll know when you can join us. Pass the word. There will be a challenge. There will be a raffle challenge for folks who sign who they're gonna have to put your name in, and we're gonna know they heard this from you. And by you being in the challenge, and when we announce the challenge in January, it's gonna be on and popping. We want women throughout the day to talk with us, be with us. But again, if you know someone that should come to this platform and speak into black women lives, somebody who's going to tell the truth, because we're unapologetic here, someone that's going to help us, whether they're talking about mental health, whether they're talking about life, finances. We'll have our finance guru with us. We're going to talk about investments at places. It ain't too late to start saving because it ain't never too late to be broke. So if you learn how to start saving, we'll figure some stuff out. But again, I'm your host, Dr. Linda H. Scruggs. Vanessa, thank you for being with me tonight.
Thank
Ladies, thank you for being with me. Remember, I need you to put in the chat, I am Sheroic, because we are Sheroic. Sheroic is not me. Sheroic is a plural. It is us. Ladies, good night, and we'll see you again next month. Um, January is a year, and you absolutely know we got some things already in store for you in January. Our first show will be January the 7th. Mark your calendars. You're going to be in for a wonderful new year. Those of y'all getting ready to fast in January, get ready. We're going to be
you.
talking about all and taking care of our spirit and our soul. Thank you, ladies. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
I
Thank you, Linda.
I am
I
Sheroic. Tell
am
them, Vanessa.
Sheroic. I
Yes.
am Sheroic. Yay. Watch. See?
Uh,
Woo.
Show my shirt, y'all. We can say
Thank you.
have a good evening, everyone. Thank you. See you soon.